Hey everybody, it's Mike from Reno Propulsion Laboratory here. We just got the new update for the Onewheel GT with the new torque headroom feature and the gradient tracking. So we are going to go ahead and give that a test out. Right now, if you look on the screen, I'm cruising along on board, and you can kind of see the torque headroom feature. All of us VESC users call that a duty cycle. And on VESC software, that is usually presented to you by a percentage. On the Onewheel app, it looks like you just get a little line there, and that line changes colors as you move up in your, as you're getting closer and closer to the end of your headroom for your torque. I prefer the term duty cycle, and I will probably continue to say duty cycle, and I will use those two interchangeably throughout this real quick rundown on the new firmware. So I've been riding a VESC XR quite a bit lately, and this is my first time back on the GT for a while. So I'm going to take you down here to our local park where we've got a fairly steep hill. I've always been able to get up it on the GT, but I've always struggled a bit, and we're going to give it a shot here with the gradient tracking feature off, and then we are going to try it with the gradient tracking feature on a couple different setting levels, and we will see how exactly this works out for us. So give me just 1 second, and we should be at the little hill in the park. Again, this hill, I've always been able to make it up on the GT, but it's always struggled just a little bit, but it's nothing too crazy. I will even measure the grade of it here before I head back. And if you're looking here on the app, you can actually see that torque headroom or duty cycle feature just kind of cruising along while we ride. So that is a great feature. I have loved it on VESC. I use this wrist guard, so you're seeing both at the same time there. I've used it on the wrist guard a lot and absolutely love it. The reason I use it on the wrist guard is because it helps me, I can just kind of sit there and see where exactly I'm at the whole time while I'm riding. And there's never any question of whether or not, I'm going to overpower the board or anything like that. I'm not the quickest rider in the world, so I'm not usually that stressed out about it, but it's nice to be able to look down and just go, man, I was, 70% duty cycle, or I got up to about 80% duty cycle on the last one. So we are almost here, and we will give it a shot. I don't know if you can kind of see that magenta line coming down the hill, but that's where we were at for our braking. So what I'm going to do for this test is I'm going to start off at the bottom of the hill, right here where you see me now. So this is what the hill looks like, and we are going to just go ahead and ride right up that thing. And we're going to start this first test here with everything turned off, and I'm going to start from right about the same point every time. So that's with all right. So that was with everything turned off. Now let's go ahead and update this real quick. You're seeing what I'm doing here on the screen. Basically, you go into your where you configure all your ride modes. Click wherever you just saw me click, and then here's your gradient tracking. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to put it on 5 with a response speed of 0 and a max angle of 9. And let's try it again. See what happens. I guess it'd help if I saved it first. So I don't know if you can tell that or not, but that was significantly better going up that hill. And I haven't been able to review this video or do anything like that yet, but you could definitely tell that there was a significant change in the, how far the nose was off of the ground on that last one. And if you see the board rolling back on me after I'm jumping off of it, it's because I've got, my delay set up for the um, when you disengage the sensor for about a second. So we're going to go ahead and update that to, let's go max strength on it now. We're going to keep everything else where it's at. And I'm pretty much going to go bottom, mid, top on each one. I mean, when you first started, it was off altogether. So the max angle, I'll probably put it at 9, and then I'll move it up to 18 for one. I feel like 18 is going to be way too much, but we're going to find out. So here's round number 2. All right. I don't know if you guys could tell there, but I really felt like I was fighting the board there. That was very, very strong. And even coming downhill, you can tell that the board kind of noses down coming downhill too. And I'll do another test where we're just going downhill on each one of them. All right, so now we're going to go slow response speed. I'm just going to leave it at max for right now, and then I'll probably drop the strength down to 18 because honestly, that was pretty uncomfortable going up that hill at max strength, even at the 9% angle. So this is slow response speed. We'll give it another shot. All right, and as you can tell, it just responded a little bit more slowly as you would expect. And then I would argue that that was even pretty uncomfortable just going down the hill because it just really pushes your nose down. I'm sure you get used to it, and that's a great feature. I know that I've been riding before, had to slam on the brakes real hard going downhill, and I've run into issues where, you know, you're tail dragging, which is very common. It does feel really good going down these hills, though. Right, so we're going to move over here. I'm going to drop that strength back down to 5, but I'm going to go ahead and throw the angle up all the way, and then leave that response speed on slow or on the middle. I'm going to double check to make sure it stayed there because that did not feel like the angle was as bad as I thought it was. So let me go ahead and drop that back down. And I'm kind of curious how exactly the angle works on here. I briefly watched Future Motion's video before this came out. I'll amend it if it doesn't make sense. I assume that the angle is how much that board's going to tilt up or down on you. And I felt like the board didn't tilt much at all. So we're going to go back down the hill with the same settings. All right, so after going back down the hill, I think that that percentage or the angle is telling me what angle it's going to start engaging at. So I'm going to go ahead and swap that around. I'm going to put the response speed at 0, max angle to 0. So I believe what's going to happen, let me just check where my strength is. I think I'm going to drop the strength back down to right in the center. Okay, we're good. Strength is at the center. So I believe what this is going to do is it's going to tell it at 0 degree tilt, it's going to start giving me that it's going to start lifting the nose up instead of waiting until I get to 9 to 18%. So no, that almost felt like it was turned off completely. Sorry, there's an airplane going overhead. All right, give it another shot here going back down the hill. And sorry, you're probably getting some messages here from some of my buddies because they're all upgrading and taking a look at the new software now too. So let me see here. Let's go to the fast response speed. That's the last one that we haven't tried. We're going to go ahead and save that. Right now we're on the 9-degree angle, which definitely feels like the right space for it. I may even go a little bit lower than that. Just kind of tune it in to see where you like it. But we're going to go with the fast response speed now to see what happens. You can see it didn't like that right when we got to the top. All right, let's go back downhill and see what happens. I was going to say the nose kind of dipped out on me, which surprised me a bit. And I don't think that was just from the haptic buzz because it had just kicked in. But let's give it another shot here. Go back down. All right, you can really feel that nose dipping when you're coming downhill. So that's basically that um, what that does is, so you're going up a steep hill like this, and it senses you're going up the hill, and it tilts the nose up or tilts the nose down if you're going downhill to help compensate that, to keep you from digging your nose into the ground or sliding back out. Again, this is just a basically stock GT. It's got a different tire on it. It's got the Float Life Pioneer tire. Shout out to the Float Life. You get 5% off by using coupon code RenoPropulsionLabs.com. But otherwise, the GT is basically stock. Obviously, the most recent firmware on it. We're going to go up the hill one more time. I'm going to tune this right to about where I think I'm going to like it, and then we're going to go from there. If you look at my custom shaping profile also, I do keep the nose a little bit high on it. Actually, it looks like I've got the nose a little bit low on it. I'm going to go ahead and put it right there at the center, but you can definitely see the difference going up and down the hill, how it lifts that nose, lifts that front end up. So again, we're going to get that gradient tracking. I'm going to move it down to about a 2, where I think I'm going to like it. And then I'm going to put the response speed at about a 2, and I kind of like the max angle where it's at right now. So let's give that one more shot. Again, this is an apex mode, and see what happens. So yeah, that is it. That's the new update. Um, there's a couple other features on there. I know that they added where when you're kind of going over bumpy surfaces, it's supposed to help level the board out. I know on Vesk, those features, well, I have always felt uncomfortable riding them, especially if you're going over a bridge with a lot of slats in it or anything like that. I don't have anything like that super close by to me, or I would show that to you now. And I want to get this video out before people start deciding whether or not to upgrade. I also want to caution people that when these new upgrades come out, I always suggest waiting a couple of days at least, if not a couple of weeks to upgrade, because often what'll happen is they roll the upgrade out, the all the servers get bogged down, and you can end up with issues where the upgrade doesn't complete all the way, your board gets bricked, and then you're dealing with future motion, which nobody really wants to deal with their service department if they can help it. Not saying anything bad about their service department, but there's no service department I want to deal with. So I would suggest holding off and waiting if you can on it, and then going from there. I'm just going to go ahead and cruise back to the house here, and I'll just kind of keep it going so you guys can see the torque headroom feature, or duty cycle feature, as I prefer to call it. I will say I'm surprised how quick that torque headroom gets used up here. I feel like it's definitely eats into your headroom a lot quicker than it does on a vest build. The nice thing about it though is you can really just kind of monitor it and look, and you can see if you want to do something where you've got your phone on your wrist while you're riding. I suggest not staring at it, but if you kind of get used to riding like that, you get a real good feel for where you're at and how close you are to hitting that haptic buzz, hitting those, hitting the top of your range up there. So I'm going to go ahead and put you down here near the board so you guys don't have to stare at my face anymore, and I'll keep riding. All right, so we're back home. I will say, if you've already updated your board, I would definitely do this update. I would give it a couple of weeks to make sure any kinks with the update are ironed out. I know the last big update, there was a lot of reports of brick boards. I don't know if that was just from the servers being bogged down or what exactly that was. But I really do think that at least those two main features are a good enough reason to do it in and of itself. Apparently, you can also adjust your indicator light up there. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that now. And oh, there it is, light bar brightness. Which, that's pretty cool, especially if you ride at night. That thing does get super bright. In fact, I'm probably going to turn mine almost all the way down so you can't hardly see it at all, because that has always bugged me whenever I ride at night. I love riding at night, and that thing always just kills me. But yeah, the gradient tracking is huge. I noticed the second that I got on my vest build that it's like you go up a hill and you just get that much extra room. You don't have to worry about just nose plugging right into the ground. You still have to worry about over torquing into the ground, but that nose isn't going to just dig and cut right in. And hopefully you get kind of an idea of that from this video. Anyways, if anyone has any questions, drop them in the comments below. I can try to do a little bit of a better job explaining this. I'm just trying to get this thing out quick so everyone knows what exactly they're getting into when they update their board. But yeah, my update, I will say, I keep saying don't update right away. My update went super smooth. It took about 10 minutes, and I will show that progress here as well. If anybody has any questions, like I said, drop them in the comments. please like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel and gets this video pushed out to more people. Again, you want to save 5% off of the Float Life, go ahead and use coupon code RenoWheel. That helps out the channel as well. We also have coupon codes with Shred Lights, with EUCO for Vmax skateboards, Alien Rides, and I was going to say, if you check the section down below in the description, I've got all my coupon codes, everything like that listed out for you. So thanks again, and have a good day.